What's up, guys? I'm Dan Langan. This is Dan Can Bake It, and this week I have another challenge fresh from Food Network. I'm going to open it up and see what I'm in store for this week. It's a board game. Let's see what this says here. Make an epic checkerboard cake. To make an epic checkerboard cake, I'm definitely gonna have to think outside the box. Challenge box, you guys get it? The challenging aspect here is going to be making a checkerboard cake that's kind of like reimagined, because if there's one thing that I'm not into, it's doing a design that's been like done over and over and over again, and checkerboard cakes have been around since I was like a kid. So I think that for this checkerboard cake, I'm gonna have to maybe make it with something that's a little less traditional, something that's not so cakey, but it has to be epic. That's underlined, so that's an important part of this challenge. So I guess I'm gonna grab my sketchbook, I'll look through my recipe arsenal and see what I can come up with to put this checkerboard cake together. Okay guys, so I feel like I had a real stroke of genius here with taking this checkerboard cake to the next level, because what I wanna do is combine my favorite fudge brownie recipe and a vanilla cheesecake recipe to make a brownie cheesecake checkerboard cake. So the first thing I wanna do is start with my cheesecake, because these layers are gonna take a long time to cool after they come out of the oven. So all of this right here is my cream cheese. It's full fat cream cheese and it's super soft, so it's already really creamy, so I won't really have to mix it that much. So this is looking really smooth. It looks like a nice fluffy cream cheese icing. Not seeing any lumps. So I have some granulated sugar right here. I'm gonna add this in slowly and I'll let that combine. And then I also have a little touch of salt. Okay, so this cream cheese and sugar is looking really smooth. So I have some eggs here, and then I also have some full fat sour cream. So I'll add my sour cream into my eggs. And then finally I have some vanilla extract. Quick mix. So this will just take about 30 seconds, and then I'll give it a fold with my spatula and I'll get it into my prepared cake pans. So I'm creating a water bath. A water bath is just hot water that you bake your cheesecake pan in, and it kind of insulates the cheesecake. It makes the whole oven environment a little bit gentler. So I have my oven preheated to 325 degrees. So I'll pop these in the oven and I'll check them after about an hour and 15 minutes. I'm ready to start on the brownie layers for my cheesecake. So the first thing I wanna do here is sift together into this bowl some all-purpose flour, a good bit of salt, and then some baking powder. I'll mix this all together. I'm gonna move on to my double boilers. And to this, I'm gonna add some unsalted butter. I have some mini semi-sweet chocolate chips. They melt super quick. Some unsweetened chocolate, some instant coffee powder, and then I have some vegetable oil. Over to my stand mixer, some light brown sugar. So there I also have some whole eggs and some vanilla extract. So I'll put this on my mixer. I'm gonna grab my paddle attachment and I'm gonna whip this on medium-high speed for about 3 to 4 minutes until it gets nice and fluffy. It's almost gonna look like brown sugar meringue. So this looks great. What I'm gonna do here is grab my butter and chocolate mixture, which has had a chance to cool a little bit. I'll just give it one final stir, and then I'll just add it all to the bowl. So we'll put this back on low to let everything get mixed together. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my flour. I'll add this to the bowl and I'm gonna mix it, and I'll stop right when there's just like barely any streaks of flour left. At that point, I'll just finish it up by hand. While I fold this in the rest of the way, I'm also going to add some mini chocolate chips. Getting those chips nicely folded in. That looks great. So I've got my 9-inch cake pans here that are the same size that I baked my cheesecakes in, so that when I stack all of these layers up, everything lines up really nicely. And now that my cheesecakes are out of the oven and they're in the fridge cooling, my oven's free, so I can pop these in the oven. It's set at 325, and I'll bake these for about 50 minutes. They're gonna puff up just a little bit, and when I stick a toothpick in the center, I want it to come out with just a couple moist crumbs of that brownie stuck to the toothpick. So these are gonna go in there for about 50 minutes. All right, so now that my cheesecake and brownie layers have had a chance to get nice and cold in the fridge, I can grab a layer of each one and I'll cut them into rings so I can create my checkerboard design. All right, so I have 9-inch layers here, and I want 2 rings on the outside and 1 ring in the center. So I'll start with this 6-inch, and I'm just gonna take a paring knife and kind of mark this out. So I'll give myself a guide where I wanna cut. And when I'm doing this, I wanna hold my knife as straight as I can so that I get a nice straight cut. So I can see that really clearly. Then I have a 3-inch round cookie cutter here, so I'll just center that, and I'll just press that in just a touch to give myself a guide. And I'll cut my outer layer first. So I'm just gonna slide this just inch by inch until I feel the bottom part of the brownie being cut. All right, so I'll cut this 3-inch circle out of the center. Perfect brownie ring. And then I've got my little guy right here from the center. So I'll do the same thing here with my cheesecake. Here, I'll start with the 6-inch on the outside. I'll get that nice and centered. Grab my warm knife here and I'll make a kind of mark all the way around. And I think what I'm actually gonna do, instead of trying to take off one giant 9-inch ring of cheesecake, I'll make a cut right here, and then right across from it, I'll make another cut. I think it'll be easier to handle these half rings than it'll be to try and handle that full piece. All right, so I've got both my half rings of the outside ring here, and now I'll cut the inside, little 3-inch circle. All right, so my rings are all cut in this first cheesecake layer. I'll repeat the same process for my next brownie layer and my next cheesecake layer, and then I'll let all of these layers hang out in the freezer so they get nice and firm so I can rearrange those rings of cheesecake and brownie. So I have my cake pedestal here, and then I have filling that I made. I just whipped together some butter and cream cheese, and I sweetened it and flavored it with melted milk chocolate. What I'll do here is place down a piece of brownie, and then I'll grab a cheesecake, and I'll fit that over it. I'll press that into place. So that's my first ring. I have brownie, cheesecake, brownie. Let's go with some cheesecake. I'll line these edges up here. Checkerboard cakes always look a little crazy when you're putting them together. I think the real magic happens when you get that reveal with the first cut. It's like magical every time. Final cheesecake. Right on top, brownie. And last little cheesecake. All right, looks great. So I'm gonna hit it with the rest of this milk chocolate cream cheese whip. I'll start on the top and I'll let it fall down the sides. So no doubt this cake's gonna be rich enough. That means I don't need too thick of a layer of this frosting. I'm just looking to fill in all the gaps and get it nice and smooth before I hit this bad boy with a nice layer of chocolate ganache on top. So I'll start with the dark chocolate. I'm gonna try and pour this on in the center and then keep all of the ganache centered so it kind of pools out into these rings on top. Let's see how that works. White. Just gonna keep going back and forth and see how it looks. About to spill over the sides. That's exactly what I want to happen. I'm gonna give it a little shimmy, see if I can make that. Oh yeah. Looks so cool. Guys, this cake looks just as crazy on the outside as I think it's gonna look on the inside. I wanna just pop this in the fridge though. I want this ganache just to firm up just a little bit before I get it cut, and then I can reveal that checkerboard design. All right, guys, I've been on the edge of my seat waiting to cut into this brownie cheesecake. So I'm gonna grab it out of the fridge and get a nice big slice. Looks so awesome. Oh my gosh, can't wait to cut into it. So let's see, I'll go right here. I wanna make sure I cut all the way to the center. All right, this is it. Here we go. Ta-da! All right, so I'm about to go in for a slice of this mammoth cake here. I don't even know where to start. So I'm just gonna start with cheesecake. It's right on top. Melts in your mouth. I'm already ready for another piece. You guys, it's creamy, it's a little tangy. You get that warm sweetness with the vanilla. It's just like so smooth. And then this brownie layer. You guys, chocolate, it sets me over the edge every time. You have that unsweetened chocolate, so rich, it's smoky, it has that really deep chocolate flavor, and then those semi-sweet chocolate chips just give you that little extra bite, that little snippet of chocolatey texture. This is the perfect combo. I don't even miss the cake in this checkerboard. All right, so you guys are definitely gonna want the recipe for this checkerboard brownie cheesecake, and you can find it in the link below this video. Also, let me know in the comments how you guys think I did with this challenge. I think I nailed it, but I'd love to hear what you guys think. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to Food Network on YouTube.